We often think about technology like it's a tool, something you pick up, you use it, and then you put it back down.
Right, it has an on switch.
Exactly. Like you open a map app to find a coffee shop, you close it, you use a fitness tracker for a run, you take it off. We feel like we're in control.
That's the comforting narrative, yeah. We are the users, the tech is the utility.
But looking at the stack of research you pulled for today, that feeling of control might be the biggest illusion of the 21st century.
It's a bit of a rabbit hole.
We're diving into this invisible net that captures everything from your location on a sidewalk to the bioelectricity in your own skin. And it's all being processed by systems that, frankly, might be losing their grip.
It is a heavy stack. We're connecting dots that usually stay in their own separate boxes. We've got technical docs on geo-fencing, some pretty wild research on healthcare 4.0 and wireless body area networks, a corporate vision for digital patient twins.
And then the unsettling stuff.
And then the really unsettling reports on the state of AI and the cryptography that's supposed to be protecting all of this.
So the mission today is to just trace the path of the data.
That's the plan. We'll start with the map on your phone, the external world. Then we're going to move to the sensors on and inside your body.
The internal world.
And then finally, we'll look at the brain running it all, the AI models and the fragile security underneath.
And by the end, we have to figure out if this whole invisible net is even working or if it's just, what was that word from the source? Slop.
Slop. Oh, yeah. And trust me, once we define what that means for AI, you might not look at the internet the same way again.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's start with the layer we all sort of experience, the coffee shop example, geofencing.
Right, this is the macro layer, the layer covering the physical world. Most people get the basic idea. You draw a virtual fence on a map.
And if your phone crosses it, you get a push notification. Hey, you're near a Starbucks. Here's $1 off.
That's the simple version, yeah. But the source material we have from Pulsate shows this huge technical shift in how it actually works. It explains why the old way failed.
And the old way, that was just GPS, right?
Right, what they call active geofencing. In the early days, an app had to constantly wake up your phone's GPS chip and ping the satellites asking, where am I? Where am I now?
Which is a total battery killer. I mean, if some burger app is doing that all day, my phone is dead by 2 o'clock.
Precisely. Users hated it, so they just deleted the apps. So the industry had to pivot to what they call passive geofencing.
Okay, so how does that work?
This is the first key insight. They stopped tracking you and started tracking the infrastructure around you.
What does that mean, exactly?
It relies on background scanning. Your phone, even in your pocket, is always sending out these little feelers. It's quietly asking, any Wi-Fi routers nearby? Any cell towers?
Just to stay connected so I can get emails and stuff.
Exactly. But here's the clever part. Tech companies have crowdsourced a global database of where every single Wi-Fi router is. They know its unique fingerprint, the BSS ID.
So my phone isn't telling the app its coordinates. My phone is just saying, hey, I can see the router with ID number ABC123.
And the app looks that ID up in a database and sees that router is, in the back room of Joe's coffee shop.
And boom, it knows where I am without GPS.
Without GPS. It's accurate to within about 100 meters, sometimes even 20 in a city. And because your phone is scanning for Wi-Fi anyway, it barely uses any battery. You don't even have to be connected to the Wi-Fi.
Just near it. Wow. That is wildly efficient. But looking at the use cases here in the notes, it's also incredibly aggressive. They talk about conquesting.
Yeah, that sounds like military jargon, doesn't it?
It really does.
And in marketing, it basically is. Conquesting is when you geofence your competitors' locations.
Wait, you can do that. I mean, you can't bug a competitor's store. That feels like it should be illegal.
You can't put a microphone in there, no? But there is no law against drawing a virtual circle on a public map.
So if I'm a coffee chain, I can put a fence around every single one of my rival shops.
Yes. And the moment a customer with your app walks into that rival shop, the system flags it.
And sends them a win-back coupon or something.
Immediately. You walk into the competitor, you get a ping. Hey, change your mind. Come to us instead for 50% off.
It's like weaponized FOMO. But it's not just about that one visit, is it? The sources mention loyalty scores.
That's the long game. The system sees you at the gym 3 times a week via Wi-Fi pings. It tags you health conscious. It sees you at a rival store. It quietly lowers your loyalty score in their database.
They're building a whole behavioral profile just from Wi-Fi signals.
And they frame it all as a value exchange. You get a coupon, they get your data.
Of course they do.
But this is where we have to bridge to the next part of our stack. Because this same infrastructure, sensors, background scanning, profiling, It isn't just for selling lattes.
Right, this is the pivot to healthcare 4.0.
We're moving from the Internet of Things to the Internet of Bodies, and the core concept is the W-band.
The wireless body area network.
Think of it like a computer network, a LAN, in an office. But the network is you. The computers are sensors on or even inside your body.
So we're talking about wearables, smartwatches.
And ingestible smart pills, subdermal implants. The whole idea is a continuous real-time stream of biological data. But the really mind-bending part in the source was how these devices communicate.
Human body communication. I had to read that part twice. It sounds like science fiction. Are they using the body as the wire?
They are, and it actually makes a lot of sense. Radio waves, like Bluetooth, don't travel very well through water.
And we're mostly water.
We're about 60% water, yeah. So instead of trying to blast a radio signal through you, they use the body's own natural conductivity.
The source mentioned capacitance.
Capacitance. Like static electricity. You know when you drag your feet on the carpet and you can zap someone?
Sure.
Your body holds that electrostatic charge. W-bands use that field as a low-power transmission medium. A sensor on your arm can talk to a sensor on your chest by sending a tiny signal through your skin, not through the air.
So I am literally the network cable.
You're the node. And all of that data, your heart rate, your glucose, your bioelectricity, it all feeds up into the cloud to create what Siemens Healthineers is calling the digital patient twin.
Okay, on the surface, that sounds like a good thing. I mean, the way they describe it, it's a medical miracle.
And in many ways, it could be. The idea is to create a perfect simulation of you, not a generic human model, but you with your medical history, your genetics, all combined with that real-time censored data.
So a surgeon could practice on my digital twin before ever making a cut on the real me.
Exactly. They run simulations. What happens if we use this drug? The twin predicts the outcome. The twin could even call an ambulance before the real you even knows you're having a heart attack.
The source material talked about an ambient network. The example was an MRI machine.
Right. In this vision, your digital twin talks to the digital twin of the MRI machine. The machine literally reconfigures itself for your specific body type and condition before you even walk in the room.
That's seamless. But, and there's always a but, what about who else wants this data? The sources brought up the IOB.
Internet of Behaviors. And this is where the marketing tech from segment 1 crashes right into the medical tech.
Neuromarketing.
That's the term. Because, look, biological data is just data. If a sensor can detect your heart rate for health reasons, it can also detect excitement or fear or stress for marketing reasons.
So the line between my patient is having a heart attack and my consumer is anxious, let's sell them some comfort food, is just, what, a permission setting in an app?
Pretty much. The source explicitly talks about tracking subconscious biological responses to influence consumer behavior. Your digital twin is stressed, so the ads you see are tailored to that emotional state.
That is dystopian-level efficiency. But it all brings us to the engine room, right? We're collecting all this data, location, biology, behavior. But what is actually making sense of it?
The AI. And this is where the sources take a hard turn from just creepy to concerningly fragile. We are relying on these black box models.
The AI black box crisis. I've heard the term, but I always assumed it just meant it was a trade secret, like Google won't show us the code.
That's part of it. But the technical definition is much scarier. It means even the engineers who built the model can't truly explain why it gave a specific answer.
How is that possible?
Well, there's this field called mechanistic interpretability, which is trying to reverse engineer AI brains. They hope to find a dog neuron or a cat neuron.
A neat little filing system. Makes sense.
But that's not what they found. They found what they call polysemantic neurons.
Polysemantic. Many meanings.
Exactly. A single neuron in one of these massive models might fire for cats, but also for international finance and also for 17th century architecture, all at the same time.
What? Why? Those things have nothing in common.
To us, they don't. But in the AI's high-dimensional mathematical space, there's some connection we can't grasp. It's compressing concepts. They call it the dark matter of the model. And if you can't untangle it, you can't predict how it will fail.
Which brings us to the word of the day. Slop.
Slop. It's the term for the flood of low-quality AI-generated noise that's now all over the internet. And it creates a death spiral called model collapse.
Is this the inbreeding analogy I read about?
It's exactly that. The first generation of AI, trained on the real internet, written by humans. But now the internet is full of AI-generated blogs, AI-generated comments. Slop. The next generation of AI is training on that slop.
It's a photocopier making a copy of a copy of a copy.
And it degrades every time. The models lose nuance, they start to forget the outliers and converge on this weird, mushy average. Eventually, the output becomes total gibberish.
And we're seeing the early stages of this with hallucinations. That Google example was just, wow.
The two buses idiom.
Right. Its AI overview confidently told people that 2 buses going in the wrong direction is better than 1 going the right way.
Which is obviously nonsense. But the AI doesn't know truth. It only knows probability. It just predicts the next likely word. If its training data is full of errors or sarcasm or just plain old slop, it will state it as a fact.
So just to recap, we have a geofencing network tracking us, a body sensor network turning us into data streams, and it's all being fed into an AI brain that's a tangled mess that might be hallucinating.
You've got it. But there's one more layer, security. Because if you can simulate a person for healthcare,
you can simulate them for crime.
Yeah.
The Arup story. This was the most chilling thing in the entire stack for me.
It's the death of seeing is believing. Arup is a huge global company. A finance employee gets an email from his CFO about a secret acquisition, needs to transfer $25 million.
Yeah, and he's suspicious. He does the right thing. He says he needs a video call to verify.
The smart move, you would think. So he gets on the video call. He sees the CFO. He sees other colleagues he knows. They're talking to him, reacting to what he's saying. It all looks real.
So he sends the money.
He sends the $25 million. And it vanished because every single person on that call, except for him, was a deepfake.
Every single one.
In real time.
Real time, AI-generated avatars interacting with them live.
That's hard to process. We're not talking about some grainy, pre-recorded video, a live, interactive conference call.
And this isn't just for huge corporate heists. The source mentions criminal syndicates. The Yahoo boys are using real-time face swapping for everyday sextortion and blackmail.
But what about the watermarks? Things like Synthede from Google. Weren't they supposed to stop this?
They tried. The sources say it failed almost immediately. Open source tools like Unmarker appeared on GitHub and just stripped the watermarks right out. It's an arms race, and the attackers are winning.
So if we can't trust video or audio, at least we can trust the encryption on our data, right? For now. But the clock is ticking on that too. This is the last piece of the stack, the quantum threat.
Harvest now, decrypt later. It sounds like something from a spy movie.
It does, but it's happening right now. Hackers and nation-states know that quantum computers are coming maybe 2035, maybe sooner, and those machines will shatter current encryption like glass.
So even though they can't read the stolen data today?
They're stealing it anyway. They're hoarding it. Encrypted medical records, financial data, digital twins. They're just parking it on servers and waiting for Q day, the day that quantum computers switch on and turn all that protected data into plain text.
So my privacy isn't just at risk today. It's at risk for the next 20 years based on data that's already been stolen.
Which is why the sources are pushing for something called a CBOM, a cryptography bill of materials.
Like a supply chain thing.
It is a list of every single cryptographic algorithm used in a piece of software. Companies need to do an inventory right now, find every instance of old encryption so they can rip it out and replace it with post-quantum algorithms before it is too late.
It feels like trying to retrofit the foundation of a skyscraper while people are still living in it.
That is a perfect analogy. The foundation is cracking. We're trying to swap out the concrete before the earthquake hits.
Okay, wow. Let's try to pull this together. We started with the map, the invisible Wi-Fi net. We moved inside the body with W-bands and digital twins. We looked at the AI, the black box that's hallucinating on slop. And we ended with security just collapsing.
The common thread is the digitization of reality. We translate the physical world into data. And once it's data, it's malleable. It can be tracked, it can be simulated, and as we saw with Arup, it can be completely faked.
The sources describe this as a vibe shift in how people are reacting.
Yeah, the dark forest theory. The internet used to feel like a town square. Now, because of all the slop and the deepfakes, it's becoming a dark forest. You stay quiet and hidden to stay safe.
People are retreating into small private groups.
Exactly. Gated communities like Discords or group chats, just so they can verify that the other people they're talking to are actually human.
A defensive crouch. It leaves me with this one kind of uncomfortable final thought.
Go on.
If my digital twin can predict my health better than I can, and an AI can simulate my boss on a video call so well that I'm fooled, at what point does the simulation become more real, more consequential than the actual physical reality?
That's the danger zone. When the insurance company believes the data from your twin over what you tell them, Or the bank believes the deepfake video. The simulation has won.
Are we ready for that world?
I don't think any of us are. But the invisible net is already here. The best we can do is try to see it.
On that note, check your permissions, folks. Seriously. On your phone and in your head.
And maybe make a phone call once in a while to hear a real voice.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you on the next one.